feels amazing. Being right.
So I leap from the gallows on a levitate down your street, crush the party like a record scratch as I shriek.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Tea with Brie. Even though I should be drinking espresso, given today we are talking about our girl, our short queen, Sabrina Carpenter. So welcome. If you're new here, this is a place where we girly goss, we get together and we grab our tea and we get cozy and we chat. So if that sounds good to you, join us. It's been a minute. I think it's been about a month since my last video. Shame on me, but so much has been happening. I cut 2 inches off of my own hair myself with a pair of scissors that were old, so she's doing great. I had a birthday. I also got bit by a dog, had to go sit in the ER all day. I almost burned my room down the last time I tried to record with a candle, so I'm gonna try and limit the candles in the future. Keep it on lock. Smokey the Bear, it turns out, did make some valid points. Just so many things have been happening. But I really wanna spend this feral girl summer with you all and gossing about all the crazy things that are about to happen in this feral girl brat summer. Okay, so to kick off our summer series, we are talking about Sabrina Carpenter. Honey, it feels good to be right. How does it feel to be wrong? I really wouldn't know. I just wouldn't know how that feels. Because essentially 5 months ago, I posted a video, you may remember it, where I was like, why is Sabrina Carpenter going to be the it girl, pop girly of 2024? Why is she? And I talked about it and I laid out some reasoning, and we'll briefly skim over some of that, but you can always watch that video. Essentially, I called this shit though. And as someone who spent most of their birthday time in the ER and doctor's offices from a dog bite, I'll take my wins where I can get them. So we're gonna talk about Sabrina. We're gonna talk about the new album, the new singles, the amazing shows that she's been putting on. We're gonna talk about the direction of her new work, what we can look forward to in August. We're gonna cover it all, honey. We're just gonna goss. So grab your tea or your espresso. I can't have espresso because I'll go into immediately 900 panic attacks. So tea for me, it's for the best. So first, just a quick recap. Why none of us should be surprised at what news outlets are calling the meteoric rise of Sabrina Carpenter. Honey, we shouldn't be surprised. Why? Let's get into it. She's been in the industry forever, working hard. Why? Because she's a singer. She's put in the work. She's had so many albums. She's worked with so many producers. She's put on so many shows. Truly, 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 when I say she's an experienced performer and artist and lyricist, take my word for it, she is. Also, her last album was so legitimately good, and I believe it was the first album that she was allowed to put out after her break with Disney and their recording contract that she had with them. And so it was such a good album, but I feel like there just wasn't enough like fanfare. There just wasn't enough oomph to get it like over the edge into truly iconic territory, because so many of the songs in the album are chef's kiss. I feel like emails I can't send will pop off, which she released in 2022, will pop off with the success of her new album. I feel like it'll be not unlike what's happening with Chappell Roan, who I also called out as an it pop girly, who we should all be listening to, where people are gonna go back and like rediscover her old discography with the release of newer things. So that's exciting to me because the album did not get the flowers that it deserved. She also completely slayed the Eras Tour. She was opening for Taylor Swift for some of the Eras Tour stops. And if you know, like opening for Taylor Swift is a little bit difficult, right? It's like a huge stadium. You have so much space. It's like very intimidating. And Gracie Abrams is open, Paramore is open, but it's like people open and it's like it doesn't really change people's perception of them. It doesn't really get them the new fans that you're hoping that it would. But I feel like with Sabrina, she did such an iconic job. Her costumes were iconic, her set list, her band, her onstage presence is so good that people were like, oh yeah, like she kind of rocks. And not every tour opener gets this kind of momentum. And I feel like she got a ton of momentum from the Eras Tour. And that's because of all the good work that she did. She's also got her look completely dialed, like her honey hair, her like sweet bangs, her absolutely iconic makeup, which I've seen a million different tutorials since the release of some of her latest singles on how to like replicate. I feel like it's no surprise. Like she's had all this momentum. The momentum has been building and building and building. And now we get to reap the rewards as Sabrina Carpenter fans. So sorry that we're better than everyone else. So let's talk about her two latest singles, Please, Please, Please and Espresso. I mean, iconic pop bangers immediately. I feel like the Espresso aesthetic of the music video was just so on point. It's like this chic 70s beachy throwback, which is not like no one's ever done that before, but they just haven't done it quite as well as Sabrina in this moment. And the song is just also kind of got that like easy, catchy melody. The lyrics, she's like, say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's that me espresso, which I feel like in a lot of good pop songs, there's words that like basically mean something, but also kind of don't, but also kind of reinvent what something could mean. And that didn't make sense, but yeah, Sabrina has done that with That's That Me Espresso. Doesn't mean anything, but also it means everything. Are you tracking? I love Espresso. I think it's an amazing song. I think it's that perfect amount of like cheeky and catchy and just sung really well, complete with like this entire aesthetic and like marketing behind it that just makes it a pop song of the summer, a pop slay of the summer. And I don't think I'm wrong. I think everyone's listening to this song. Also, please, 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 let's talk about it. She had the opportunity to do the funniest and craziest thing ever, which was to put her very recent, not even boyfriend, but fling or situationship into her music video. And she said, yes, I would like that. I wouldn't have had the guts, no pun intended for Olivia Rodrigo, but I wouldn't have had the guts to do it, and she did it. And it was an amazing music video. I don't know if you all have seen the music video, but Barry is like this con, and she's kind of like, don't embarrass me, basically, but also as a girl who hasn't felt that about some boy that you brought around to a group of friends or a dinner or a wedding or something, and you're like, you're wearing that, you're gonna say that, like it's embarrassing sometimes. And I'm not saying girls can't be embarrassing as well, but I'm just saying I've been mostly not embarrassed by girls, I've been embarrassed by dudes. So that's my own personal journey. Iconic Please, Please, Please lyrics would be, again, this perfect combination of cheeky and catchy, where she says, and please, please, please don't bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice. Pointing out that one, she has an iconic makeup look that she's honed in over years and years, and people are copying it, and she's finally getting the recognition it deserves. Two, just recognizing how once you do that makeup and once you get that look and the hair done and the makeup is styled, you cannot cry, right? It's like, I cannot ruin this mascara. So like you need to shape the F up, you know? And there's also that little sweet hint of vulnerability of like, when you're in this new relationship, you're like, this new situationship, whatever it is, it's very vulnerable and you don't want to be let down. You don't want to already be crying in the club for someone you've known for like 2 or 3 months. So I feel like she captures that really well. And it was almost like a little bit of a country vibe. If you haven't listened to either of those songs, I would be shocked because they've been everywhere, truly everywhere, everything everywhere all at once. But if you haven't listened to them, give them a listen. Espresso and Please, Please, Please. Which one would be my favorite? I love Espresso, but I feel like Please, Please, Please almost has a little bit of like Cowboy Carter reinvigorated country on it, and that pleases me. That brings me inordinate amounts of joy. So probably Please, Please, Please is leading the way for me. However, I can barely even say the song title. So not just those two singles that have led it to be a Sabrina Carpenter short girl queen summer. I feel like it's also the performances and the big events that she's been doing. Two of the biggest being Coachella and the Gov Ball. She brings out these absolutely iconic outfits, which I feel like eventually she's gonna do like a little line of these like heart cutout corsets and people would be all the fuck over them. Did I stutter? No, I don't think I did. Her stage presence, like when she went to Coachella, I heard from multiple people who went that she was bringing the most, that she brought like the most stage props, the most energy, like the most enthusiasm, the most choreography. A lot of people were just like getting up on stage with a band and just like hopping around from different parts of the stage, but she had like a whole story, a whole production. Who else could do it? Obviously, Beychella will never be repeated or surpassed. However, with that far and away the best Coachella performance of all time, I believe Sabrina is definitely up there. She's bringing so much. I mean, look at all the stages. I've been showing them, but I mean, gagged. And she's also been bringing her iconic nonsense outros to her performances. Let me just read what she did at Coachella. Man, his knee's so weak, he had to spread mine. He's drinking my bathwater like it's red wine. Coachella, see you back here when I headline. You could just tell Sabrina is very witty and has a great sense of humor because first of all, she's shading her boyfriend situationship Barry by this Saltburn reference when he was drinking that bathwater. Literally gagging at the thought of it. She's just funny. You can just tell she's like a funny person, and I, as a also funny person, relate to that, you know? Also, she performed at the Gov Ball, and she had another iconic set, outfits, and outro. The outro for Gov Ball was, do I text him back? It's such a tough call. That won't fit inside me, bro, I'm dumb small. People who hate pride can suck my Gov balls. And speaking of performances, she also had recently a very iconic, can never be repeated, but obviously probably could, cover of Chappell Roan's Good Luck Babe, which again, if you don't know Chappell Roan and you aren't listening to her, let me just use this moment to publicly shame you. You must. You're missing out on so much by not listening to her music. It's so full of joy. It's so full of color. She also has sad girl ballads. It's something for everyone. Her performances are sparkle, queen, explosions. She's everything and she's blowing up, and I feel both good and bad for her because fame, it's like, it's good, but it's also bad. Back to Sabrina. She covered Good Luck Babe, of which I will insert a clip right now.
A new excuse, another stupid reason. Good luck, babe. Good luck, babe. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling.
I mean, do you see what I mean when I say like she really is working hard because she is a singer? Like she's working hard and she's singing, and she has a really great voice, a really great stage presence, iconic makeup. I just go on and on. I'm saying the same shit, but like I'm trying to get it through your heads. She's the it girl of 2024, and I called it, and thank you to both of us. I also want to touch on her new album, which is coming out in August, called Short and Sweet. And this is another perfect example of that classic Sabrina Carpenter humor, where she's clearly pointing out that she's a short queen. Yeah, I just looked up, she's 4'11". I think last year people were really hyping up like short king summer, but I'm like, no, it's short queen summer. It's Sabrina Carpenter summer. It's short and sweet summer. Get it right. So what are we expecting from the album? Well, we're expecting a tour because she just dropped that this very morning. She's going to a ton of different cities. Super exciting that she's already announcing the tour. Get your tickets. I'm hoping it won't be crazy, but I feel like now that she's really blown up, it's gonna be another Taylor Swift Ticketmaster hot mess fiasco. So just mentally prepare for that going in. What else are we expecting from the album? Lyrics, honey. I'm expecting witty, deep, vulnerable, hilarious lyrics. Somehow she's able to do all of that. I feel like with Blank Space, you saw Taylor kind of inserting a little bit of witty kind of humor, self-reflective humor into her own songwriting, but I feel like Sabrina does this like almost with every song. I mean, the entire Emails I Can't Send is also very vulnerable, but also like witty and bantery. And given what we've heard from Please, Please, Please and Espresso, which are the first two singles off the album, I think we are in for iconic, catchy lyrics. I'm also very interested to hear like, what are the ballads gonna be like from this album? Because it's SC, baby. We're gonna get a couple of slow, a couple of ballads. What are those gonna be like? I feel like she's in a very light, airy, confident era for herself. She's kind of come out of all of this scandal of the Olivia Rodrigo love triangle and separating from Disney, and she's kind of in this like very growing, exciting, confident place. So what will the ballads be like? I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Like, what are we expecting from this album? Are we expecting more pop bangers? I mean, I feel like they did a great job with the first two singles, which honestly a lot of pop artists do not nail. The releasing of the singles. Taylor Swift, I am mostly looking at you. So it's not a small thing to have two singles that are basically like going 1 and 2 on the charts. Like, props, you know what I mean? I feel like before the album drops, we're probably gonna get at least 1 or 2 more things. Also, like maybe some more album visuals, maybe another single that's released in July or something, maybe a music video to go with that, maybe tour merch. I feel like we're gonna get something. So we'll get more hints about the album when that drops. So there's still things to look forward to before August when the album comes out. So some things that I gathered from a Rolling Stone article and some other articles about Short and Sweet is that she's collaborating with who on this album? Jack Antonoff, which she collaborated with for production on Please, 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 which I really did love. And I thought that was a great job, a great like combination. It doesn't surprise me that they work well together. So she's collaborating with him, and then also with Julian Muneta, who she worked with for Nonsense and worked with for different songs on her last album, which I loved. So extremely excited about the combination of these 2 people. Also though, I want more lady producers. It's always men. Like, ladies, study music production, get in there. We need you to start producing these songs. I'm not saying that Jack and Julian aren't iconic, but it's like, I just want more women everywhere. And so I'd love to see like what more woman production would sound like and feel like on different albums, because we don't really see it very much. The Rolling Stones hinted that there was probably more collaborators to be released later. Now I'm not so sure that these are going to be production collaborators. I'm wondering if this is going to be like features on different songs. Obviously, I would love, personally, for personal growth reasons, I would love like a Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, whatever the fuck that weirdo dude's name from High School Musical was, and just get them all on the same track. Let's just get it out there, honey. I don't think that will happen. I feel like the air is not completely clear there, but that would be a dream collab for me. And obviously, like, Taylor would be so fun because they toured together and they're really good friends, and it's just like a very sweet story between them. For the album with Rolling Stone, she also talked a lot about essentially just finding like common ground with her fans. Like, oh, you've had this crazy thing happen to you, like, so have I. And I got through it, and you'll get through it too. And here's a song about it to help you get through it. She also told Rolling Stone that the most significant difference between her life when she was releasing her last album in 2022 compared to now is that she said, end quote, "I used to cry every day then. I don't now." That breaks my heart. I feel like it's probably hard to overestimate how difficult that time of life was for her. So yeah, I feel you, girl. I feel you. She also just expressed how excited she is for this particular album, and how initially she wasn't sure if all the songs were going to like fit together or not. And then she started working with Antonoff, and she felt like she found this like cohesive story and sense of completeness around the album. So truly, y'all, I am so excited. I am so pumped to hear what this is gonna sound like. I'm just excited to like be in my own space, like have my candles lit, have my tea, have everything be cozy, and just like drop it into the album. Catch me on my floor August 23rd, the release date of the album, just absolutely encapsulated in vibes, encapsulated in them. I couldn't be more excited for this album. I think it's probably my most anticipated release of the summer, even though obviously Brat, Charlie, that was an iconic album as well, but this is like what I'm most excited about. So this was a short and sweet one today, but I'll see you next week, actually this time, okay? Unless I burn the rest of my house down with candles. I'm looking at you, and I hope you're as excited for this album as I am. Let's gossip about it below. All right.